through their direction.
Correct.
I walk through my own direction, meaning the things that I do. Nobody told me I should do. Nobody told me that I shouldn't do. I decided to do it myself.
So tell us about this new initiative that you have.
Well, it's called the Block. It means black. It's an acronym. It means Black Leaders Optimistically Challenging Kings.
And I love it, the title, and I told you that when you guys met here the first time yesterday. Because at the museum, what we say is that, what I tell young people is that we were descendants of kings and queens that were enslaved in America. And so many young people have to look in the mirror and understand that they come from royalty. And that's something in our community we have.
10 years you might be a black man. 7 years you might be a Negro. 25 years you might be a colored person. 25 more years you might be African American. So maybe it starts there because we don't even understand who we are or what we're called.
So what is the purpose? I'm
purpose,
tap back to that.
Yeah, the purpose,
of
the
what
purpose
you're doing.
is even what you just said right there. We're trying to come back home to where we come from.
Okay.
And it's not only me, there's two other brothers that came to me and we talked and discussed and I said, this is a great idea. I said, I want to be a part of it. So we decided to do this together and even coming up with the name The Block. Because we talked last night about us coming together in groups when we go vote, when we go to the school board, when we're doing anything. 60,000 black men coming in and dealing with all these issues that we got going on in the community.
Well, I love the block because it takes us to, just about all of us come out of inner city or somewhere wherever you live. So we understand what the block is. We understand what the relationships on the block, but we also understand the strength in a block, like a concrete block, how that block is together and how hard it is to break a block. So even from karate, you get a black belt when you learn how to break the block. So there's so many things to what you're saying about the block. And from what I got of your meeting, that you guys were first coming together as men, trusting each other in the process. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
And then from the process,
that we put together, and we may revive a few of them, but that's what we're going to initially start working with. As you know, we started that last night. Then I like the nucleus of men that was there, the different backgrounds, principals, DJs, school teachers, organizational leaders, political leaders. We have it all in the room and had it all in the room, and we're going to continue to do it.
Yeah, and I think that was the beauty of what I saw is that you had if you want to say, the fabric of the community. You had it. You had the Indian chiefs, you had the chiefs, you had everyone in one room, and everybody was moving for that one goal. And that's how, as black men, we have to maneuver and move forward with. But one thing with let's say with what you've done with the block, is that because you were disappointed in other things you saw, or you just thought of another need that was out there at the same time?
No, I wouldn't go so much on the disappointment because nothing that's happening I'm really disappointed is I know who created it and how they created it for us to do anything that's going on. Am I making an excuse for what's going on in our neighborhoods? Yes, I guess I am, if you look at it from that perspective. But if you really look at it, even understand about the protesting, how the chief of staff, the president, he sits there, and actually he loves it to go on. Then he send out these little tones to people such as, hey, I can stop it in one day. I'll send my people in there and shut it down, creating a war that he loves because people either vote for him based on the fact that, hey, they're taking away from our cities. The police can't police the people. They're thugs. They're doing everything they can, breaking windows, they're looting. So he's looking good from that perspective if you think about it. Even Joe Biden going in, and I'm jumping over there to the presidential piece. Joe Biden, who's probably 90% of the black people are going to, well, I won't say that larger portion, because we do have black Republicans. A larger population of voters are going to vote for Joe Biden. So certain things that he's out there saying, hey, you can really leave it alone. I think it's good or something in that regard to defund the police. You can't talk like that. That's me talking to you. We just talking here on your podcast. I know you don't have a lot of time, I guess, but I just wanted to say that.
Well, let's talk about it. You brought it up, defunding the police. That means so many things to so many people.
Okay.
I see defunding police as a way of taking the militarism out of the police force, because when police were recruited, even from day one, just talk about the establishment of police force. It was put in place to really police black and brown people.
Okay.
Traditionally, it was never about law. It was about order, and the order they put in place to protect the laws that matter to them.
Okay.
That's the true story of the origins of the police force. Now, when you talk about defunding it, I think the message is defund the process. If you defund the process, you can create a better process. And what I mean defund the process is that everybody that comes out of military don't have to be a policeman. Everybody that comes out of the Boy Scout don't have to be a policeman. Policemen can be recruited out of social studies. They can be recruited out of the ministry. There's so many other people that go to the police force. But traditionally, they have recruited people that already have military-like mindsets that take it into the streets. Because if I'm in the military, I follow orders, right?
Okay.
And then I'm aggressive in order to complete the order. That's what you have in the police force. You have what you have is the culture of the military mindset. And you have to defund that. When I say defund it, you just have to recruit different. Like when I was in college and we were in the FBI, when I considered FBI, most of the guys on the football team was thinking the FBI. Until my dad says, well, why are you going to put your life in danger for $30,000 a year? But what I was saying with the FBI, they took all kind of people. They took athletes, they took social studies people, they took so many people that was majoring in so many different things that I think that's why you see the FBI has a different mind culture than you do your local police. That's all I'm saying about the funding.
Well, one thing's for certain, that the way they treat black people, I'm looking more at the system. How can you break down that system
That's
that's
what I'm
been
talking about,
created?
the system. That's right.
From back, what you say, back in the roots days. I'm like, I'm not saying take away all that funding, but break it down. Why are we giving them our tax dollars to buy equipment to fight against us?
I'm not talking.
Bombs,
right, I agree. The equipment and weapons that are being used
Absolutely.
are fighting a war, and we're not at a war. And I agree on that. But we do need police force, and everybody. Well, let's say this: when you're in the affluent communities, they have less policemen, and the reason they have less policemen, they have more things and more opportunities for you in those areas. They have a swimming pool. They have a golf course. They have all the amenities in life to keep you moving forward in success. The difference in the inner city is we don't have those things to help keep you success. So for that reason alone, you find people doing things that just part of survival. No matter what community it is, if it's about survival, it's about survival.
So why do you think that happens here? And I know I'm asking you a question now.
That's fine.
And you go in the black community, like you said, there's really nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sit-down restaurants here. If people wanted to go buy some clothing, they couldn't really do that.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go out to the mall. So why do you think these things happen?
Well, the question is, I know why they happen, but your question was defund the police. And
Okay.
I'm asking, if you defund the police, what you said, what does that mean? That's all I'm asking. What does that mean?
I already told you. When
Okay.
I was going on, you said you was going that way. I said take away their money to fight against us, meaning that they're taking our tax dollars, going to buy weapons and sticks and bulletproof vests and tear gas. Take away, defund that part more so than anything. The system's going to send them out. They're going to be who they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change it. Once they go in there, the system bottles them up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3% of them. I don't care if people get upset with that. Maybe 3 to 5% will probably block and say, you know what, this ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's happened Things are happening far too much and been far too long.
So what does, in all that, we talk about the block, black leaders optimistically challenging kings.
Yeah.
That means what? What does this actual, tell me what that means.
Well, you see the last word.
Okay.
It says king, right?
Yeah.
And we're challenging the king.
Okay.
And we all are black leaders, and all of us are kings.
Mm-hmm. And what is the challenge to the kings?
The challenge to the king is to be a better father, to be a better community activist, to be a better teacher if you're a teacher, be a better principal if you're a principal of a school, be a better leader of Roots 101 if that's what you run it. Just be the best that you can be.
Okay.
And we're not gonna, there's no judgment zone, about what you do or how you're doing it. Because if you decide this is what you want to do, we loving you.
Right, and I always say becoming a better ancestor. And what I say, that's from the museum standpoint. But, piggybacking on what you're going with, and I'm loving what you're going with. I'm just asking questions that people would want to know what you're going with. So if you challenge young kings, and when I came to the meeting,
Well, we didn't say young kings. We said
kings,
okay,
which
yeah.
means all age groups.
Okay.
And you challenge them. You also holding them accountable in the same breath.
I mean, absolutely.
Accountability is
because
part of that.
If we all come together as a group of men, basically like a brotherhood, and we coming in and talking about different things that we should and shouldn't be doing, because if you really look across America, you're not really seeing black men out there doing their thing. And kudos and hooray to the ones that are the 5 to 7% that is, because we don't own anything in regards to land. If you look on the statistics of black CEOs of companies, right, we're not looking good anywhere across the board in America. Our sisters are fed up with us because we're not fathering. I'm not talking about you per se, Lamont Collins. I'm talking about black men as a whole, collectively. We're not taking care of our kids the way we should be doing that. We're not visible.
Well, let me say this. And I say this with all sincerity. When you say, sometimes we buy into the narrative that's out there, right? I don't know if the high percentage of black men are not doing those things.
Okay.
But I know a great many of black men that are.
Absolutely.
Right? So from my point of view, statistically, there are some brothers that are falling short, no doubt, in all of our families.
Okay.
But I don't know if I can cast how many. I agree if it's more than 2, it's too many. But I don't know, so in disparaging, and I don't think you're trying to disparage at all, but I think there's some brothers that are being accountable. You're being accountable by being here. I'm being accountable.
Well, I'm learning. I'm learning.
Okay.
Even in the process, that's why I want to even surround myself with a bunch of men, because the boys that's being raised now, they're being raised by women. I'm not upset with that. The women raise them, but they need a father or a mentor or somebody.
And you mentioned that at the
to
meeting.
man it up for them.
You mentioned that in the meeting, and I thought that was interesting. You said that, maybe I brought it up, is that if we're going to be leaders, we have to be mentors too, right?
Yeah.
I think that kind of came up.
Yes.
And then, I think I said that if we're going to mentor, we have to be committed to the mentoring,
Okay.
correct? And then the group that you're leading or part of, or leading with the other two, which was DJ Beats and
DJ Empty Beats.
Empty Beats, right?
And DJ Slick.
DJ Slick. And then as the meeting went on, it grew into more. It grew into some needs other people thought need to come to the table.
Is that about right? Yeah. Okay, so to go back to the mentoring piece and the accountability piece that we have as men to young men, what does that look like and what you're trying to do now?
Well, it looks totally different from what's being seen now.
Right.
The way they're perceiving us to
Correct.
be. And like you said, I'm not condemning all black men. I'm just saying these are some of the things
Right.
that they say that we're not doing. Even our sisters are saying.
Right. And
Screaming out loud.
right, and my responsibility as especially with Roots 101 and the narrative that I'm putting out is that I always have to put the narrative of what is factual and not what is perceived. And that's why I kind of went back and said, okay, to a fact, not, we got brothers doing their thing.
Hey,
So
you said in that seat,
well,
I'm over here.
well, I mean, that's all. But let's go into the mentoring piece that we kind of talked about. It amazes me, and you might speak to this, is that we talk about mentoring, but then we turn our little boys over to other groups to mentor, whether it's big brothers, big sisters, or whatever. And it's all. And believe me, I was vice president, Big Brother, just using that as an example. But as I look back over it, when I was president of 100 Black Men and we had a mentoring program, there's so much responsibility we have before we turn our children over to someone else. We had young men there, Mario Flemings. They had, I think, Sow a Seed or whatever mentoring program he had. And I'm sorry if I got it wrong. Outstanding young brother, outstanding program. And I like to see more young black men take the role of mentorship without forming it off to someone else. I like to see more fraternities, instead of forming it off to somebody else, form your own nonprofit, fund your own nonprofit, and do the things you have to do collectively as a community. What do you think about that?
I mean, if you could take care of your business, you wouldn't have to send them anywhere. Big Brothers Big Sister, the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club,
Right.
if you take care of your business. But the problem is the fact that most men are not in their home or around the kid, and I'm not condemning men.
Right. Some men, not
yeah,
most.
but some people
Let's
take
just-
it like, oh,
let's
man,
just say
I'm
some
there.
men. Let's say some men, not most men.
Okay, well, I didn't say most, I said men.
Okay.
We're not.
Okay.
And I'm including myself also. We're not taking care of our business.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like I said, the sisters are screaming. America's been screaming that the black man is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
3/5 of a man, as you know, right? So I don't want nobody to think, you coming on your show, that I'm condemning black men. I'm just saying that we have to start stepping up. I said we do.
Yeah,
You know,
and
a lot
I think
of things I'm not doing.
well,
that
I
should
think
be
it's the
doing.
purpose of what you're doing, and that purpose is fine. And having discussion about it is even better, because too many men don't want to talk about it. And that's one reason we have this show, when I say a healing process, that we can come together and discuss things and walk away at better men than we came to the table. And that's the reason you have something like this. And what you have is a wonderful plan of attack. And maybe you can talk about the different points that you guys are going to make in order to attack the problem in this community. The 5 points.
I'm going to try to recall some of the points. That
Okay,
we
that's
had.
fine.
We talked about being better fathers and mentors. That was
Right.
one. We talked about working with the sisters who are clearly on the front line. Try to figure out how can we partner with them after we get ourselves righteous enough to go through or up to them and to ask them.
Ask them for what?
To
Forgiveness?
work. How can no.
Okay, I'm asking you.
How,
You
just
said
how
the
could
word.
we partner and work together?
Okay.
Why am I asking for forgiveness?
I don't know. That's what I was asking.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You know, because I'm sure every sister in the world, they love black men.
Okay. Okay.
Nowhere you would go that you wouldn't be loved as a
Okay.
black man.
Okay. Okay.
And somebody that try to duplicate everything that you do.
Now, I think that there's some legitimacy to
The
that.
way you walk, the way you talk, the way you even shave.
So let's go back. Let's not go back. Let's just stay where we are. Let's talk about the initiative that you're doing, because I think the initiative is great. So now we got the initiative. What's next? What is the next? I know it's another meeting coming. There's some other things.
Yes, there definitely have to be another meeting coming. So we have to make sure that we have everything right. When I say right, I mean we have to dot our I's, cross our T's, like they always talk about. And so when we present it to whomever we want to present it to, that we'll be right.
And when you say present it, are you presenting to a narrow group of people? Are you presenting
we're
to
going
the
to present
city?
it
What
to
it's a-
other brothers.
Okay.
See, because that was just a nucleus of guys. So like I said, we're going to spread and try to get as many black men as we possibly can to come together and work together.
Right. So when you work together, that means working with fraternities, church ministries, what?
If they call upon our service.
Okay.
Because a lot of times when you coming in as a new group, they probably won't even want you to work with them. And I'm not saying everybody.
Right.
So we'll set and wait till they call on our service and we'll go to them.
Okay. So in the process of collecting and formulating what you got, what you have created or what you're going to create, are you saying you waiting for people to come to you, or the point is going out to the community and show the community you worthy of their partnership, or how does that work?
No. What we're going to do, we're going to put the work in, work off those 5 points that we talked about. I'm not really concerned about what the people in the neighborhoods are going to think about it or react to it. We're just going to keep working until we complete our tasks. And by doing that, like I said, we're going to reach out to other black men to come with us and work with us, because some of the 5 points we said we're going to restructure. Some guys took some home and they're starting on. We wanted a group of guys to do it as it will, when we all come together, that's what it'll be.
Okay.
But as far as the community, hey, if they call on us, we here. You know, are we trying to show them something? No, we're just trying to do something.
Right. And it's designed, it's not really designed for a particular area. It's designed for young men, period, right?
Black men,
Okay,
period.
period, okay.
Black
Not
men.
a zip code.
I mean, black men, period.
Right. That's what I'm asking you,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, anybody that comes from anywhere that want to be a part,
Right.
they're a
So-
part.
Right. It's
Because you're already a black man.
right. It's an initiative that works the Newburgh to Middletown to
Absolutely.
whatever. It's not a
Absolutely.
West End initiative. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying to you.
No.
Okay, cool. Well, I have to ask you because people think that, right?
Why?
That's the way people think.
Black men
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, they're not just in the
But
West End.
yeah, but don't you think that's, because you
That's
mentioned
an issue. I'm
Right,
sure that
but
we'll be saying, hey, we need to go down here and be a president or do this to
Correct.
be, some of the, yeah.
Because we buy in that. I mean, we or
something
some of
different.
us buy into the same stereotypes that the issues are only in the West End, and black boys are being lost all over the city.
all over the city.
Okay, so that's why I was asking that
And
question.
everywhere you go, black
Okay,
men are
okay.
being
Is the initiative to work with school systems, churches?
I
What?
mean, if that's what they want us to do.
Okay.
If that's what they want us, because some of their members hopefully will come in and say, hey, I want to be a part of the brotherhood. So if they want to work with us, we're going to be here. But we'll just be continuously doing the work to try to get some of the tasks that we're putting out on paper and make them come to reality by us fixing some of the problems.
Right. Now, historically, going back to history, that there's always been new groups.
Come on.
Because there's always been new groups, because there's always new opinions and new followers, right?
Come on.
So my question is, what was the need for the new group now? Because nobody was doing it, or nobody was doing it effectively? Why?
I mean, I can't say nobody's doing it.
Right.
Or nobody's being effective, that's not my call.
So why
But
something new?
we
Because you
just
saw something
decided
missing?
that I'm watching the sisters.
Right.
Every time I turn the TV, the sisters doing something. Every time I go in the hood, guess who I see having the babies clutched to their arms at the door, got the nightgown on with the cooking thing on, doing everything. And I'm not saying that there's not men, out there doing the same thing, like you said, trying to do that. But I just want to let you understand that we're taking a page out of the sisters' book. Like the guy said, what he said, who he's working with, and what they said, they're not going to wait for us. Why you not working with? She said that they're not going to wait for us. So we just decided just to do something. And yes, they had groups after groups after groups, but what to sustain a group to do work in West Louisville, South Louisville, in regards to everything that's going on, from the protests. But guess what? You go to the jailhouse, we're the minority, but we're the majority there. So how can 23% of the people become 60% in the jail? Black men, the kings that we're talking about. And some done things, but you're telling me that 64% is Caucasian, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know the statistics.
Yeah, well, I'm close.
Well, I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
I had a college professor that said one day to me, and I'll never forget it. He said, statistics are a hobgoblin of a small mind, created by those weaker, slower
Come on.
than those bigger, stronger, and faster.
Come on. And we thank him very much for that.
Which means that people can take statistics and work them any way they want to.
Absolutely.
They can judge a football player by how fast he runs, but not by the heart he has. And he can be an All-American and run slower. So far as I'm concerned, statistics is something in our community that we don't need to bear witness to, because those that make the statistics make the statistics. Now, there are some hard statistics, but the reason why, and that's what you're digging into, is why is it 63% in prison? Not that they're black, but why is the system calling for 63% of them to be black? So the issue is really with the system before it's with who's in the system, because the system is what's designed to put them there.
Yeah, I like what he said, and I kudos to him for saying it. But another man said that people lie. He said numbers don't lie.
That's how you push them.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But I'm in agreement with what you're saying
No,
about
I know.
the number
I'm
of people in
responding to
prison.
what you said, that's all.
But what I'm saying is,
So how could that happen? How can that be?
well, I think you know why it is. That's why you're doing what you're doing now.
I mean, do your viewers know what it is? Because I don't know.
Well, I think most of us know, just like you know, there's institutionalized racism. There are injustices in the system.
Okay.
We know systematically what causing the issues to happen.
Okay.
So we deal with the systematic reasons, and then if we get to the reasons and adjust the reasons, then it won't be 63% of black boys or black men in prison.
Okay.
If we go into the traditional system, which we're talking about now, I think that's the greatest thing about what's going on with the Until Freedom and so many other groups. They're digging deeper. They're digging into the system and the root, just like this is Roots 101. They're digging into the roots. And then I always say that everything's living is embedded in roots, and it grows, right?
Okay.
So systematically, those institutions have grown since we've been here in America, right? So we have to dig deep enough to cut those roots before we ever change anything. So that's why I think this group that you have is that you guys are trying to dig deeper, and you're trying to get to the root of the issues by grabbing men and saying, okay, this is what we have to do. This is the heavy lifting we have to do. This is the shoveling we have to do.
Okay.
This is the irrigation that we have to do. That's what I saw your group talking about, right? So when you talk about women, and it's no doubt that black women are in the forefront. That's no doubt. But historically, black women have been in the movement since the day the movement started. Okay. Historically, black women, even if they wasn't on the front line, when the husband went home, they still discussed the issues. When they went to the Bible study, they still discussed what deacons be, what the wife told them to do. So women have always been involved in our system and our leadership. The difference now is like in 1980, 1990, when I was in management and working and affirmative action, it was about the black men at that time, right? So there was a 10, 15-year span that people were getting promoted were black men, right? And then all of a sudden, affirmative actions turned into.
I must was asleep during that time.
Yeah, you must have been trying. I didn't say a great number, but
yeah.
a number.
No, I'm just
because
yeah.
what would happen is you have one black manager, and he wouldn't hire other blacks because he figured, well, you got that now.
I know, yeah.
And then you got one black woman. So all you did is flip the script from one black man and one white woman. So one black woman. So it's not that black women have all of a sudden achieved so much more, because if you look at the numbers, it's the same statistic. If you want to use the word statistic, it's the same results. So we even have to dig deeper on that. We can't say we're satisfied because there's one black woman's a VP and there's one black woman, and all of a sudden in the city of Louisville, all the VPs are women. It's still one. That's the issue. All you're doing is flipping, like if you had a shell game, right? In the shell game, all you did was change people but the same numbers. And what we have to do is change the numbers. And I think that's what your group and these other groups, they're systematically are challenging the system to change the numbers. And that's what has to happen.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm agreeing with that 100%. That's exactly what we're trying to do. You know, and we're not going to sit around and pray for it to happen, meaning we're going to pray.
I understand.
But we're not going to continuously just pray without going out in the community and try to work with whoever want to work with us. And anyone can join us. Black Kings, anyone can join us. Like I said, we're going to meet again next Tuesday. Same place, Roots 101. Thank you very much again for being very, very kind to us.
Well, I think, if we're going to be a historical museum, we have to be true to what our calling is. And, historically, there's always been a place to tell the story. And if we're going to tell the story, we have to support the story and those people that are in the story. So I have no choice. I mean, I've called to do that, and that's what we'll do. As a nonprofit, we have our struggles like anybody else, and we're looking for people to support us as we support them. But our calling is to support this mission. And the greatest thing for me is that at 61 years old, I get to do what I saw my grandmother and grandfather do a long time ago. It's a shame that that we were doing that. But I did have the playbook when they did it. I saw how they tackled the system. I saw the things they did. I saw them come home without fear, knowing this was the best thing for their grandchildren. So naturally, when I grew from listening to my mother and the family I grew up in, I had no choice but this direction, because I came from a family of first, people that tried something. Not that it was always a success story. But, you know, it's success and failure many times. When you step out there and you're the first and someone see you, somebody's going to come back behind you and make that work. So, you know, you know, honestly, Roots 101 has to be here, and it's the best time in the world for us to be here, because if we're talking about healing, there's no place in this city talking about healing but us. There's no place in the city where, other than a church, and a lot of young people not going there anymore. So this is the place they're coming to. I mean, every day we open a door, there's some young brother, some young man, some young woman that wants to come in here and just sit, just want to see, just want to touch, just want to feel. So I know there's something that inherently we're doing the right thing right here, right now. And that's why bringing you in and your group was, that was a no-brainer for me. It was a no-brainer to sit down with Until Freedom. It's a no-brainer to sit down with No Justice, No Peace. Because if we talk about the movement, every historical movement in the black community either started in the basement or someone's living room. That's how we navigate it, right? So now in Louisville, Kentucky, it can start in a basement, a living room, a church, and now Roots 101.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, that's my vision of it. So let's go back. So was this your brainchild, or someone brought this to you?
No, like I said, I'm working with two other guys, DJ Empty Beats, DJ Slick. So, you know, they're into their music and media, I guess. So they came up with some of the content
Okay.
of what's going on as far as the BLOCK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So are you guys marching to this point? Is this a marching or protesting organization or group, or is this just a awareness group that may grow into something more?
More awareness, but will we be out there if it's called upon us to be there? Yeah, I'm going to be there. You know, speaking for just me, statistically speaking,
Right,
this
right.
guy here, because I drew a line already in the sand. I'm for change, and I'm for change for my people. So either I can do that, I could go on the side of the government. Am I mad at the government? No, I'm just upset with them that they won't take their foot off my neck, if that makes sense to you.
Right.
You
'Cause
seen that?
you went to Washington, right?
Absolutely.
You and your wife. So what was your experience at Washington at the march? What did you feel on that one?
I mean, I could feel the energy from the other people. Just to say that I was there and I marched, like people talk about 68, when they marched, you could always go around one of the elders and he'll tell you about how we marched in 68. So I guess I'll be able to talk about how I marched in 2020.
Okay. Now
Through the pandemic.
Right, through the
Yeah,
pandemic,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Which made you a soldier, Doc.
Well, I
Don't do
mean,
that.
I'm
But,
a natural soldier.
See, I went to
I'm a natural soldier.
now I went to the Million Man March, and that was life changing for me. You know, I was
The
you know,
Million what
the
march?
Million Man March.
Men march.
Yeah,
okay,
and it was every bit of, you know, and it was an awesome experience that it changed everything about me when I left there. I remember in the subway or whatever they call it in D.C. where they pull up, and there was an old African proverb that says, 100 men, when 100 black men walk, the earth trembles. Okay. And when we came out of that subway, I kid you not, it felt like the earth trembling. And as we came off the elevator, you seen a lot of the white citizens just back up and look, because they never seen black men walking in unison to anything. So when you came off that subway or rail car, or whatever it was, I mean, it's like the world just stopped. I can't explain it. It's like it stopped, and we were only one moving was us. You know what I mean? And it was profound. And then when you got down to the march, down to the speech itself, and a good friend of mine, Michael Collier, at the time, the comedian, and he tells a story about we were so far back, there was a brother that was in a wheelchair, and they literally picked him up and passed him over the crowd. I guess a good half a mile to the front of whoever was speaking at the front, and nobody cussed, nobody fought. It was the most immaculate thing I've been to, and it wasn't about who Farrakhan was speaking. It wasn't about any of that. It was just about unity, and I came back with just a whole different spiritual feeling on what I needed to accomplish as a black man. And I don't know if it was the same feeling there for that, but I know you could never reduplicate what I saw at the Million Man March, and you could never duplicate when my family went up to the inauguration, the first inauguration with President Obama. And what I learned in that one is that I went up with Obama saying, hey, this is our black president. This is our black president. And my daughter, my wife, mother, sister, and niece, we're all by the reflection pool. And I kid you not, Neil, there was a guy from Sweden, a white guy from Canada, a white guy from, I don't know where else he's from, Germany. They were crying like newborn babies, right? And they turned over to my daughter, I guess Mariah might have been 10, 11, and they cried, that's our president. And crying. And, they're not even from America, but they just felt that they felt America had reached its highest point by electing President Obama. But that was probably my only other experience where I felt like there was something supernatural about that day. But what I learned about the Obama thing is that I'm looking at as my president, and all these people from different countries were just astonished and amazed at what they saw than I was. And that was like, wow, it just blew my mind that day. So what is the plan, and how many men do you think you'll come up with?
Well, back to what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, everywhere you go, when people see black men, they feel like the Sweden man feels, or the guy from Argentina feels.
I heard you say that before.
This black man as president, we seeing that, right? But he see this king up on his throne. And guess what? The world was better. There wasn't protesting and breaking. Well, there were, but not as much to this extent. So he did a great job.
So okay, let's talk as black men, which we've been talking. What is your feelings about the America we live in now? And I think you kind of tapped on it, but go ahead and drill down on it. What do you feel as a man and as a father, as a husband? What do you feel when you look at TV at night or go to bed? I mean, do you feel like you're in a defensive mode or educational mode, or I know things changed since this guy's been president for 4 years.
Yes, one thing for sure. When I'm looking at those CNN, those other stations, NBC, and I'm seeing the protests going around across the country. Actually, I'm not upset with the people protesting, because at some point America's going to either have to change, or it's going to have to be rebuilt. And that's not me talking. That's what the people are demonstrating. So I'm looking on it. I don't like the fact of some of the measures the police go through, doing a peaceful protest, how they agitate and push the people around like nobody's going to push back. So the more things happen, and then hold up, we just like, oh God, we just basically kind of got through something. Then what? What's the guy's name that got shot 7 times in the back?
Oh, you're talking about,
yeah, okay, I can't think of his name, Lord. And then somebody else just got shot by the police in Oakland or Cleveland, and I mean, they're not going to stop. I mean, if I'm like Patrick Henry, give me freedom or give me death. That's what we're saying, that every time you look on TV.
Well, let me ask you this then, and I think everything's been relevant. You mentioned, or you didn't mention, but I know you played basketball, and you were high school All-American.
I still play basketball.
Yeah, you play high school All-American, if I remember. I think you was McDonald's MVP, the McDonald's basketball.
Nah, that was the Derby Classic.
It was a Derby the Derby Classic MVP.
Yeah, I got dust on the trophy.
Yeah, but I know. I saw it all crooked and beat up and everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's because you sleep with it every night. That's why it's beat up.
Oh, wow.
So, but anyway, the question I was asking, and we were here last week talking about it. Everybody talked about seeing the athletes crying after watching the young man getting shot in the back. How many athletes were crying, talking about going home and telling their children. And I didn't think about it now, and I was talking about it yesterday, that I think a lot of those brothers were crying because reality set in on them too. So many years they thought they were above dealing with things that average black men may deal with, because they had more money. They were superstars. And the pain hurt that they couldn't control. They couldn't help their children. And I think when they watched the young man get shot 7 times in the back with kids in the back seat, they realized the vulnerability in their life, and that's what the pain was. It's like all of a sudden they woke up and said, "Hey,
then something's really wrong with
something
them.
wrong.
Then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But for years, I think they were so removed from the daily grind that it became reality when they realized it could be their children, or it could be
them.
It could be them.
Okay.
And I think that's the pain that the black men were expressing and crying about, that they realized it could be them no matter how
Welcome
much
to
money they
America.
made or what kind of car they was driving. That's my conclusion. What do you think happened with
Welcome to America.
that?
Yeah, welcome to America.
Yeah. And
So
I think
I'm
that's what
sure
happened.
I'm sure they know all before that things is going on, because most of them come from
Exactly.
that background.
Yeah. But I think
those
sometimes,
neighborhoods,
right?
should
I
we
think,
say.
but when you come from, and you don't have to go back once in a while, it's a different. After you've been gone for 10 or 12 years, the reality sets that, hey, this is still happening.
Yeah, you come
This-
back, it's still
Yeah,
happening.
it's still happening, and I think the power was taken away in a sense, and that's why the pain hurts so bad for them. I haven't talked to them personally to know if that's a fact, but I'm just saying that I felt like there was no way they could control it, no matter how much money they had, how much popularity they had. They realized in America it could still happen to them.
Absolutely.
So that's what I think. And then part of your group is, will you guys, in the mentoring piece, will it be young people and older people, the combination of both?
I mean,
or
it'll
not
be
sure?
one people.
Okay.
We're going to be standing on one common goal.
Okay.
Not just one, but
Right.
meaning one
Understand.
common goal in terms of how we're going to operate. Young, old, we got to stop separating as black people. There's not that many of us here anyway,
Right.
and we losing them every day.
Right.
So
Well, what I meant by people, I meant that, are you going to try to tackle it in age groups, or are you going to just tackle it as a
I
whole?
mean, one people.
One piece, okay.
This is it's not how it's gonna be. We're gonna decide on that as a group.
Okay.
I want to make sure I get that out there for people to understand. But we're not just gonna focus on young.
Okay.
Not just we're focusing on one man, the king. This is what we need to be doing. This is how we should attack it in terms of us getting there. So I don't see us breaking it down like the groups, because the younger man is a reflection of the older man anyway. So once he see how he's operating, and the longer we're around him, you become what you see. So we'll shape him and mold him just like we are.
And will it be I think I asked you that night, will it be a nonprofit, LLC, combination of both? How are you guys proceed?
We basically talked about that last night, and we never thought about that until last night. And, we may do both. But it's going to be, our main thing that we're going to do is be out in the community. When I say the community, I'm not saying working with the church or working with this people. We're just going to be out in the community doing what needs to be done, even if it's coming from our homes, from our jobs, from the church, wherever we're at. And, I mean, I'm like you say, this could be other groups out there doing the same thing. Do you? We're just asking for kings to come with us. We come together. We decide on what we really need to do. We can revive any 5 of those points. See, the 5-point plan wasn't standard where it say this is concrete. Nobody could change this. We're going to decide as a group, because, like I said, there's a lot of different nucleus of people there.
Now, do you feel like this is something that has to be done locally, or because I think you mentioned people from other places coming in is this an initiative to pick up when people leave, or is this an initiative to work with what's here?
Well, we have to start locally while we're here, because I don't think nobody would come from Kansas right now just to come sign up for a group. But maybe there will be, and if it is, that's cool. We're extending our arms and our hands to them. But like I said, once again, our biggest thing that we got to do, we got to become better fathers. We got to become better mentors. We got to become better everything. And I'm not saying the ones that's doing it, I'm not cutting them down. I'm sure you out there doing a great job, but we have to do more, and we need more black men to be involved in everything. You talked about when they was hiring black, and when they're going to just start hiring black men. Yeah, sisters are working. And I'm not trying to cut that short.
Right, because it's not a black woman, black man thing.
No, I'm trying to cut the 80% of once again, statistics, 80% is being ran by white men and white women. 80% of the market of everything. So we're left with 20%. Oh no, our sisters got to get the next section of that. Then we get it, and then others.
So how does politics, I know you always talk about politics, tell me how politics falls into this.
I mean, we have to do a better job on electing our elected officials.
Okay.
We have to do a better job. I mean, if you're happy with what's going on, continue to do that. But I'm looking around the neighborhoods and all the things that's going on. Nobody can tackle nothing. Nobody understands what they're doing. We're paying these people to be able to work it out.
Mm-hmm.
See, the show starts on a Thursday. Mm-hmm. But they forgot about the Friday and Saturday that comes after that, mm-hmm. and the Sunday, mm-hmm. you know, because they say the homicides and things of that nature goes up during the weekends. They always say people are more on level 10. But it's my job to do as a citizen. Yeah, I get that. But it's their job to work it out and come to us and say, okay, community, here's what we need to be doing. And if we're not electing that type of people, I don't care what church you go to. I don't care how you know singing the choir and all. I don't care about that. Mm-hmm. How much will you do for me is what I want to know.
So part of this initiative is political.
I mean, everything's political.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be involved with that.
Okay, good.
But what I was talking to you guys about, I said we got to start coming in blocks, mm-hmm. instead of just coming as one. Here goes my vote. Where then you put your sign. I voted. No, one band. We voted. Mm-hmm. We voted 40,000, mm-hmm. 16,000. How many ever? We voting together. One, okay, we know we all with Biden. He's the guy. Okay, here we go. We all going in there together. And here's when we're going to see Mr. Biden. Here's what we need you to do. Mm-hmm. See, that's not working locally for us, mm-hmm. and you know it damn sure ain't working on the state level. Mm-hmm. And then when you go talk about federal, even everything that's going on, the people are struggling and things, but the big businessmen getting all these dollars, we getting 1,200. Mm-hmm. They getting millions. Mm-hmm. People not even up at that, hundreds of thousands.
Right. So these are some of the initiatives
that we're going to be in front of them. Yeah, we're going to let you know. No, that's it.
So it's a holistic approach.
It's a whole new day.
That's going to touch everything.
It's a whole new day. You know.
Okay.
And we're not saying ride or die. We're not saying that. All we're asking you to do is just watch what we're doing. If you feel like you want to be a part of it, come on. Okay. Come on. We're not going to shut the door on any black man. Okay. And we're going to work with you. All
right. Well, I'll tell you what, before we get out of here, it's I always ask people this question, or anyone who sits at the seat, is, you know, I always talk about becoming a better ancestor, which I said earlier. If I say becoming a better ancestor, and I think you really answered this several times, what does that mean to Neil Robinson, and what does that mean to the block, becoming a better ancestor? What is the challenge to the block when I say, can you become better ancestors?
Well, when you talk about an ancestor, that's one of the days when we were kings and queens. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're challenging our black brothers who are kings to come with us, and let's rise up our city. When we'll start with our city. Mm-hmm. And by rising up our city, like I said, the younger black guys who are out doing whatever, whenever, because we weren't a good mirror for them. Mm-hmm. So now they're seeing something different. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, because I'm not even, I hate to see every time I look up on social media or the news, a brother, young brother, older brother, anybody really, but I'm focusing in on black people mm-hmm. at this juncture because nobody loves us. Especially black men.
So what when you say nobody loves us?
Nobody loves us. I'm not talking about that from an ancestor standpoint. I'm talking about the now.
No, but you hit a good point. You say nobody loves us.
Nobody.
What do you say when you look in the mirror, and do you ever question whether we love us when we kill each other?
When I look in the mirror, I'm seeing love because I love myself.
No, but the question I ask, what do you say when you see us kill each other?
I know where it stems from.
Okay.
I know the virus it comes from. Yeah, so I'm not more so mad at my brothers. I'm angrier at the people who's created these monstrous acts. Mm-hmm. And then they point, look at you all. Mm-hmm. Look at you all. No, look at you.
But in the part of, you know, we talk about kings and queens. Isn't it part, the way I look at it, is that there's legacies and accountability to be a king. There's a legacy and accountability to be a queen. There's a legacy and accountability to be a prince, a princess. Okay. So how can we say we're kings, but we're not holding people accountable that's hurting the kingdom?
Well, we definitely have to attack those people. And if you're talking about other black people who's not involved in what you're talking about.
I'm talking about murder. I don't use the word. Let me say, I'm not going to use the word everybody says,
against, you know,
Murder.
I'm saying accountability for us killing us.
I
How does that,
really
how
don't
does
believe.
that go in here?
I really don't believe that black men want to kill another black
I
man.
didn't say wanted to.
I know. No, I know. I'm about to get to and answer
Okay.
your question. I understand what you're saying. I just know that it comes from the way that we were created. From from us being kings, and we come to this Western Hemisphere, and the all the indecent acts that they done in front of us and done to us in regards to raping our women right in front of us, and it was nothing we could do. Pulling us out, hanging us for not working harder, even making us work for free. And then our living quarters. See, they turned us into animals from the way that they put us. You ever trained a dog? You ever trained a dog? That's basically what they did to black people. They were training dogs that they believe, which they love more than black people.
Okay, now I'm listening to you, and I'm not listening to you. Are you saying? Now let me ask you what you're saying. Now, first you're saying that we're kings and queens,
Come on.
right? Then you're saying we were created to be animals.
No. I said the way they see. You misinterpreted
That's
what
why
I
I'm
said.
asking you.
No,
I'm trying
I've
to get
said, yeah. Hear me out.
Okay.
I said they turned us in.
They
To
is
savages.
they is in
The slave master.
Okay.
Turned us into savages.
Okay.
So all this is a transformation of everything that they've done to us.
Well,
So I'm not mad. I'm mad at what they're doing, but I'm not mad directly at the kid because he really don't understand. And then no man's there to teach him.
Okay.
And the ones that were there, I mean, maybe they didn't spend a lot of time.
Okay.
with it.
Well, let me say this. I don't believe black people at any point in time have been turned to savages.
You
I
don't?
believe.
No, you don't?
I believe.
So what are
white
we doing?
American.
What are we doing now?
Well, if I say that they turned to savages, then I'm going what white men have said from the beginning of Earth, that we were 3/4 animals.
They 3/5 of a man.
So
Come on.
we're not 3/5 of a man. We're not 3/5 animal.
Wow.
We're not savages.
Okay.
We are people that were enslaved
Come
in
on.
America. And we came through the trials and tribulations of America.
Okay.
But America never made us savages. America made us slaves, and they enslaved us. But even in slavery, we built villages. Even in slavery, we built the White House.
For them,
Even
for
in
them, for them.
Doesn't matter. We created a Now, wait a minute. If I was a savage, there's nothing I could do
See,
that made it intelligent.
Like Neil said that you all are savage. I said
I
they
didn't-
created us to become savages.
And I said that didn't happen.
So okay, what? I don't mean to
Nothing
take-
tells
I mean to
me
give you something to look at.
Nothing historically tells me that white America made us savages. White America.
So when you was
indeed-
coming over on that boat, eating vomit, laying next to a sick man that's died and had diseases for all this, that's not savagery to you?
No,
Do
you
you
didn't
want to
say-
live like
wait,
that?
no.
Nobody wanted to live
Wait,
like
no.
that. We never did that to them.
Wait a minute. Treating us as savages is
No, no.
different
They
than being
turned
a
us
savage.
up from the things that they done to us. All the things that they did from us, the way we were, our living quarters, the way they pulled us into our no school, we couldn't read, remember? All these things will hang you right in front of their face with their little kids. And we're watching. And a younger kid's watching, my daddy just got home.
But just listen what you're just saying, though. Listen what you're saying. You're telling me.
No,
I'm
not-
wait a minute.
That's what you're thinking.
No, well, that's why we got to
That's
get
what
this
you're
straight.
thinking.
Because if you're on the
If
show,
you're
what you
straight,
are,
if you
let's
want to
get
be
this straight.
straight,
Okay, listen what I'm about to say.
And that's why I can't get my point across, because you're taking it and then you're taking it like I'm saying, no, I'm not calling my people savages.
Well,
I
I'm
know-
about to make the point so you can tell me what
Kings,
you're saying.
I'm telling you.
Listen what I'm saying. And tell me if you didn't say this. You said they treated us like savages, right?
No,
And then,
no.
okay, tell me what you said.
I
then.
said they turned us into savages from the things that they've done to us.
Okay, so if you just said
And
they turned us
because
into savages,
no-
that means you're a savage.
No, I didn't say that. I never said that. I already know how I stand.
Well, then how they
I
turn
told you
you
in the morning when I look up, I see love.
Well, how can I turn you into
I
something
see
that you're
beauty.
not?
I see power.
Answer
I
that
see
question.
that.
How can I turn you into something
From
that
the
you're not?
conditions of the way that they treated us, the conditions that they put us in regards to the way we live, the food that we ate, how we had to work for free.
Okay.
For free till from sun up to sundown, and you telling me that's not savagery? That is savagery.
No.
Because if we did that to them, which we wouldn't, because we such good, kind-hearted people, we really are. But you turned us into what we're doing
Okay.
right now.
No, you
Even
just-
from the
you
protest.
just said it there.
We
You said
turned,
it turned
you
in-
turned
Who
us into
turned
this
us into
from
what?
the actions of killing a black man,
Turn
a
us-
black woman,
turn us into
shooting
what?
them.
That's what I'm trying to get-
To what we're doing out in the streets.
So what's that mean, what
You-
we're doing
you-
in the
you-
street?
You tell it.
No, you tell it. You saying
tell
what
it.
we're doing on the street.
What we're doing on the street. We're
That sound like-
protesting.
okay.
We're marching. We're fighting for what we believe in.
We've done that. But
We've done that?
we,
When?
we've always
No.
protested in America. We just have not
Apparently,
came
we
through.
didn't do it correctly because it's worse now than it was back when they marched.
But irrelevant to the point of you using savagery
No.
as an example of where we
You took
are.
it the wrong way
But
because
explain it to
you
me,
gotta
'cause I'm not the only
open
one got it
your
this way.
horizon. Yep, I'm sure they're not even.
Say
They're figuring it all
explain
out.
it. Explain
they
it.
figured
Well,
it all out.
no, I have to be
never
responsible.
said, I
for
said
that.
from the things and the way they treated us, in terms of our living quarters, the food that we ate, us working for free, us watching our sons and daughters being hung by a tree just because you disobeyed somebody called Massa.
Okay.
And everything that they done to us, man, it turned us into something that we weren't before we got here.
That's what I'm saying. What did okay, I'm
yeah, so
asking,
that was then as we move forward.
What will we turn into? That is the question.
No, they turned us into
And
that.
turned us into
from the way
what?
from the way we lived.
Okay.
What you want to say? Savages?
No,
You want me to say?
I haven't said that. You've been saying it. I'm asking you.
Okay, but you making it like I'm down in my people.
Well, I don't
calling
know.
them savages.
Well, I'm not saying
I already
it.
told you.
You
we
saying
kings
it.
and
I'm not
queens.
saying it.
The savage report. That's what I can put you in a condition to turn you into a madman.
Okay, but
from the
that's
things
not-
and the
that's not-
actions of the
that's-
things
okay,
that
I
I
got
do.
you. I got that, but what I'm trying to
you're
get
not,
to
because
is-
if you would explain that, it's self-explanatory. I'm just explaining from what they done to us, what we made came from that. What came from that, meaning our living quarters, trashy, maybe not to you. The way, like I said, they would come in our house if they like our sister or our wife and take her and rape her right in front of your face. It wouldn't turn you into something like, okay, I'm through with trying to remain calm at this point, watching all these things happen to my people or to my wife or to my daughter, watching my son being beaten because he didn't work the whole 8 hours. So now let's translate that to that now. Now they shooting my brothers, shooting our sister, and the more we keep coming back up and saying, okay, y'all, let's remain calm, let's do this, boom, then there go the next one. We don't even have we couldn't even come off the last one that died. I mean, I'm still mourning that part. And then here go another one. Then there's going to be another one because we as a people then figured out that we got this thing all right. And actually we don't. We're killing our own people. We are from our actions now. Because we're not really locked into fighting for our brother or with our brother. I mean, from what I'm seeing, and I'm not talking about the everybody, because I know the good people who's out there doing all the great things and figured everything out. You know, they're doing their thing. But one thing they're not doing is come to us and show us what you're doing. So we can all come together and work together. And you know what? Like I told you guys, I don't even Facebook argue with people no more. I don't even argue because that's not my fight. I have a big fight. I have a big fight that I'm fighting. And everything else that's going on around me, you know, y'all gonna have to figure that out.
No, I think you're doing a great, noble fight. My question was from a historical standpoint, when you say they, I just wanted to clarify, what did you mean they turned us into what? Because as someone that's someone that's telling the story of our history, there's no way I can sit back and accept the history that you're telling, because it's not a fallacy. It is true of the way we were treated by America, but it's a fallacy to say that we are savage.
Right?
That's
Accepting
right.
that, right? I didn't. Maybe somebody was like me there. I didn't. I wouldn't have dignity and pride while you disrespecting me every day. At some point, I'm a man up and stand up and fight you back.
Right.
Now, you can sit there and systematically trying to figure out, I'm going to sit here and let this happen. I ain't talking about you, just people
I know
in
what you're
general.
saying. But historically,
No, you got to, at some point, fight.
But
You're going to keep
historically-
letting me come in robbing you
But it's-
day after day after day after day after day? You're
that-
not going to do that.
There's no doubt.
Yeah,
But
okay.
that- but
So
that-
guess what you going to turn it to?
What? No.
If I come through that door
No,
wrong.
I'm not turning it to savage.
Oh, okay.
You
Well,
back to that
guess
word
what?
again.
Go down. I'm just talking about if the robber come in for you.
Well,
You know.
other people say
Hold
that
up, let us pray.
Dude,
Chill. No,
the
no,
question of
I
defending
got
your
protect-
family
okay.
is different than being a savage.
Bingo. You already just said the what? Repeat.
The difference of defending your family is
Checkmate.
not becoming a savage.
Checkmate.
Savage.
Guess what?
How's that?
Every black person I see is my family. Checkmate. Checkmate.
Well, checkmate
So
what?
that's what
How
I'm
did-
gonna.
how did
That's
this-
what I'm gonna do.
trying to-
I'm gonna
this
defend
what
my
I'm-
family.
Okay.
You
I
walk in there.
would-
I'm gonna
but
get
how
on
does-
every level I can.
How does that make you a savage defending your family? You use the word savage, and I'm trying to
I
trace
said
that back.
They turned us into savages
How-
by the way they treated us.
But
Yeah,
historically,
I'm sure-
historically,
you
it
should
doesn't.
know,
It doesn't.
coming
it
on
doesn't-
that boat
No.
in here and under those conditions, you're gonna have dignity. Oh, I have dignity and respect. You know, I don't know how many days they come over that river. People were jumping off, like, forget this, I can't take this.
That's right.
They jumping off. Before I be that, I'm jumping off.
Let me ask you this question then, and because we'll keep beating this up all night,
No.
but it's all
Yeah.
good. I think I think it's great, but there's no way. I'm gonna go back again. I have a president that I would expect to say we were savages.
No. I didn't call. See, you misinterpreted what
I
I,
still
said.
have-
Once
you-
again,
you said
I
savages.
never
Turn-
called
said
you a
turn-
savage.
You said turn into
So,
savages. What does
yeah,
that mean?
I said they turned us into savages.
Which means what?
Which means to me, they turned you into a savage from the way that they was treating you. You know, you had the people like you guys that had pride and dignity beyond everything that was happening around you. From them taking your wife out of the house, raping your daughter right in your face. You sat there with dignity and respect, like, I'm gonna take this. No. Maybe you're gonna do that.
Let's go
Maybe
back.
you're gonna.
Let's
I'm
back
gonna
up
turn
a-
into a savage.
Let's back. Okay.
I said I'm gonna turn
Okay,
into
okay,
a savage
okay.
and defend my family.
I don't know what books have you read that say that black people did not defend.
Man, I already told you
'cause
before out
black
there.
people- black
I have
people-
no education.
Well,
I
come
never
on.
went to school. I never. Guess
No,
what?
come on, I'm
That's
trying
what
to-
makes me brilliant
Yeah.
because I didn't learn their bull crap.
Well, let's say
I don't have a PhD.
black people have
They
defended.
didn't train me.
Let me say this: black people have defended from the time they've been off the boat.
Defended what?
They against white people if they had to in situations where they revolted. They revolted in Haiti. They revolted
So-
in so many different countries. So black people traditionally didn't go peaceful into slavery, and many times they went in prison in slavery. So we've always fought back.
so it's nothing-
But fighting back and becoming savages is two
So
different
nothing in your book.
terminologies,
Okay,
brother.
okay, great. You won. So this Lamont's the good guy that don't think that they turned us into savages from the thing they done, but it's great. I'm the bad guy. No problem.
It's not good and
So-
bad. It's just
well, it has
it's
to
just-
be
No, it's not
because
good and
you
bad.
holding on to that point, and I'm telling you, I said I've never called you a savage. I'm just telling you what was created from what they've done to us.
Okay.
People didn't
okay.
want to. Man, I'm not gonna sit. That will blow my. I mean, I'm sitting there watching my daughter get raped and wife get stripped of everything that she got, and my son hung, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit here and chill out. No, I'm a freak out.
There's no doubt.
I'm a freak out.
There's no doubt that we
And
had
I'm
trauma.
attacking.
It's no doubt.
Trump,
That
we
we've
can
had
throw
trauma.
all those words
We've
in
had trauma.
to make it sound
But
good
all I'm
for
saying,
us.
if 45 said savages, I would
But-
say the same thing to 45.
Man, guess
Take it
what?
out of your vocabulary.
Guess what?
We're not savages.
I'm not going to vote for him. I'm not a fan of his. But one thing I respect, he's letting me know where he stand with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the ones that act like they're so nice and be right in, not in my back, at the bottom of my foot, destroying me, or
Right.
trying to destroy me.
I-
White supremacy from that angle is the worst kind. Because we don't know what we're up against. We'll let them in our house. We'll let them in every meeting that we have. And then when things don't work out, we'll say, dang, I wonder why that didn't work. Every time. And look what we do. We had 2020, and we fighting for rights, human rights, and fighting for them to quit kill. 2020. And then they talking about like we're the problem still. We're the problem.
So you're.
They need to be better educated.
Well,
they
not,
need to be
not
better
putting
educated.
words in your mouth. So let's talk about. Are you saying there can't be white allies in our struggle?
I didn't say that.
That's what I'm asking.
You just put another word in my mouth.
what are you saying
White
then?
allies, yeah, you're welcome.
But
You're
you just
welcome.
said they wasn't welcome.
No,
You
no,
mean-
in regards to, let me finish.
Okay.
In regards to financing what we're doing, if you truly believe in what we're doing, You've helped finance it. You can't set up nothing. We don't need the playbook from you. No, we tried that. It didn't work. Everybody, it'd be always some black guy bringing in his buddy, white guy, and then look up and the white guy's the president of all black organization.
Okay.
We have organizations here that has more white people than black because they give, I guess. But we can bring something to the table. And yeah, you know some of the groups you're talking about. Think about some black organizations here. I guarantee they have more white people on their board than black. By far.
I don't doubt that, especially those that are that are involved with corporate contributions. Don't doubt that. I found that out at the museums, no doubt. But I guess the question is, which I asked you, are there white allies?
I just said they're welcome.
No, I didn't say if they're welcome.
They're welcome.
Are there white allies?
I mean, I just said they're welcome. If they want to finance what we're doing, stand with us when we go do what we're going to do. That's cool.
Because they are
That's
marching.
Cool. Yeah, they are marching every day.
Right.
Every day.
Right.
But can they come there to me and set up the program or set up what we need to do? I don't think so with me, because we try that time after time, and it's not working. We try to be their friend. It's not working. They still don't like you. You a great guy, dignity, respect, and they still don't like you. And I guess I'm a savage, and guess what? They treat us the same.
Savage.
Now, dignity and respect.
No, you said savage again.
I said I'm a savage.
Okay.
So yeah, they're gonna treat us with the dignity and respect, I guess.
Okay. I mean,
So,
it's been. I mean,
they're gonna treat us the same, Lamont. They're gonna treat us the same. They hate you like they hate me.
oh, there's no doubt. You know, I understand what prejudice
So
is.
what
I've been
else
there,
can I
done
do?
that. Yeah. So back to nothing other than what you're trying to do, and trying to make a difference in the community, trying to bring young people up to understand what's going on.
All black men.
All black. Well,
Let's
young
clarify
people,
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
all black.
Yeah,
men.
young. Yeah, they're welcome. They're black. They're young, and they're gonna become the kings when we expire. When we expire. So they're welcome. So not just the young. So we don't want to exclude the old. Look how much vision they could give us.
Right.
You already know that. You from Roots One. When you come in and you talking about stories that I've never heard of, like I went to school in Kentucky, so they didn't give me much, So, but I'm here.
Okay.
But when I went up north, I said, "Damn, I don't know nothing." I said, "I don't know nothing." Northerners was bright. They was smart. They was men. And I ain't not all. I'm sure the dignity, and respect guys. I know y'all got it right off the muscle, but I didn't. I'm glad, because I read my own books. I didn't write them, but I read my own books, and I navigated my way through that. My own self. Am I telling a kid not to go to school? I didn't say that. No. Before you start. No, I didn't. I did not say that.
Let's start. Yeah.
I'm just saying that Neil Robertson. Am I telling you to do everything that I did? Man, I don't know. That's hard to answer, because I think I turned out all right. I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, because you know why? I don't care if they don't love me back. I love black people. I love my people. They're my family. If I see a sister getting beat up or something, I'm coming to her defense. Can I fight? No. But my heart's bigger than everything else. I'm coming for you. I'm seeing you breaking somebody's car, carjack. I'm not going to sit and go around the corner, Mr. Police. No, I'm getting out of my car and I'm going to help. Do I want to die? No. Hell no. It's a lot of life that I can live. But for that one instance of me thinking about life or death, I'm going to save my sister. Guess what? The dignity and respect guy. If they ever bust in your head, guess who's going to come and help you? I might say something to you before I start helping you. I might say, "See, I told you," and then help you. But I'm going to help you, man. Trust me, I'm going to help you.
No doubt.
And you guess what you going to say later when I rescue you? Man, Neil came through hard. He was a savage. Yeah.
You probably say Lamont knocked him out first.
Well,
and over with.
No,
that's probably what you say.
Because don't you swing your hand. That's savagery.
Well, no.
Don't do that.
That's called self-defense. But the point is, I'm never gonna, I love talking to you, because I knew we get an engaging conversation. It's always good, and it's
I know, man. You always throw that U of L educating stuff. I went to U of K to teach us nothing, man.
But and it's.
They kept telling me, go to the gym.
And what's good is that
go to the gym.
That we can't, that's one thing about men, we can discuss things as men and move
Say it
forward.
again.
It's one thing about men, we
Men,
can
yes.
discuss things and move
So
forward.
why wouldn't we come together?
Yeah, but we do, but like I say this again, regardless of the trauma and the history that we have suffered in the past, we still have to hold each other accountable in the future. And that
I'm agreeing
doesn't
with
change.
you.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. So
Okay,
where do we
cool.
start even with that?
Well, I think we start just like with the group you're talking about now.
True, but I'm talking about what would impact it more if we started somewhere else, though. Because if we started at the top and let it trickle down to us, it's going to be a beautiful thing. Because the people at the top are our leaders, council. Let's take our council people. They have dollars and things that they could utilize. They are rather it go back for the next year in the funds or whatever than to spend it from their people in their community. The things that, and I ain't talking about them little pool parties and things. I'm talking about some real solid investments that they can make to make sure. And I'm not asking for a dime. Trust me. I'm just telling you that our dollars are not being centered in the right place. Even you, I'm sure. Come on, man. Look what they're doing to you. Who wouldn't want to have a black museum where people come and can get history from? Mm-hmm. We should be knocking the doors down to give you money.
That's true.
You know, and yeah, I'm sure you'll say that, but I'm
I just realized how smart you are. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Hold
I
on,
just realized
hold
how
on.
smart
Let
you
the
are
savage
when you made
say
that
this.
point.
Can the savage say it?
You know.
No, I'm serious, man. They
Yeah,
should be
I'm serious.
busting this door down.
That's no doubt.
And even the people that's in power, they should be making provisions to make sure that this don't close. Because it was a slap in the face for the Muhammad Ali house. You know what that's going right now. Weeds are growing up so high, we got to go through it and do a community cleanup. That's crazy, man. We keep letting our history and things fade away. And then here you go, opening up Roots 101, and people take it for granted.
Yeah.
People, yeah, they take it for granted, and they need it. And I'm not here to on no broadcast for you to.
Right.
I don't want you to change what you just said about the savage. I don't want you to change. I'm just letting you know that we need to be giving money to Roots 101 to make sure it remains open. We don't have nothing black really in the city. Then somebody might say, "Hold up, what about my stuff?" Brother, I'm talking about Roots 101 right now. I don't know what they're doing. Do they take their pen and write check? Do they still do that? Can they take their, what's that credit card and put it in that machine from their house and get the money to you? I know what they could do. They could cash app you. Right. We have to do something. Them brothers can come up here, because I remember, let's go back to the days. You know, them hustling dudes, they used to come up over that money and be like, here, man. And I don't care if people are saying, white people are saying, even black people, the dignity and respectful people saying, hey, that's not right. We can't track it, man. We need to put money into things that we believe in, things that's going to take us and move us forward. Because if not, we're going to be doomed.
That's right. And traditionally, you know, historically, money to support things didn't come from the banks, because the banks didn't give loans.
No.
It was the brother hustling the street. It was the brother that understood your dream. And that hasn't changed today in Louisville,
Are they still doing
Kentucky.
it? Okay,
it's
great.
Still, it's
I'm
still
still
there.
doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know they was out here doing it.
There's young brothers that are still stepping up, doing the things they have to.
Can we get some names?
No, I haven't
Okay,
found them
no
yet.
problem, no name.
I haven't found them
okay.
yet, but I know they're there.
Yeah, they out there.
I know they're out
okay.
there.
I've been looking for them for 57 years. Yeah.
But
where they at?
But anyway, it's been great. I mean, like I said, every time I talk to you, it's great. We'll talk again, and we'll wrap up. And I'll ask you about becoming a better ancestor, what that means. But what would you like to say to the men, the black men that are watching tonight? What you challenge them to do to come back to your next meeting? Go ahead and do that.
First, let them turn off the game for 1 minute. What I'm about to say.
Turn off the what?
Can you turn off the game? The game.
Oh, the game's
The
done?
basketball game.
Okay.
Look at you. Yeah. No, we're coming to you guys not as an organization that wants to tell you what we're going to do and how we're going to do it without your input. We're coming together, forming a brotherhood to try to figure this thing out together. We don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time. And I'm not talking about the Breonna case or anything of that nature that's going to explode America. I'm not talking about that, because it's far too many things that's going to even happen after this that's going to give us that momentum to do whatever needs to be done, because people are tired, they're upset, and they're not going to have it. The people that I'm with, you know, not the clever people who've got it all figured out. And I'm not talking about anybody, because we all are different. Everybody's not going to come up. Everybody can't be Mike Tyson. Like you just said, I can't knock nobody out. I don't have those skills. But I'm going to talk you down. We're not even going to swing no hands. I'm going to talk you down. but you gonna knock them out. But we just want to work together with our kings. I mean, our sisters are tired, and I keep reflecting on that because everywhere I go, I'll be around somebody, and they be like, oh, this happening, that happening. Like, well, again. But it's the same old song. Different names, different faces, but it's the same song that's being played, man. Okay. We need to step up.
Okay.
You know, when them sisters go in that house, guess what? Even me and my wife probably looking and saying, yeah, whatever, you don't even do that, you know. But just be present. You know, make sure, you know, that some of the house, you know, if you don't clean up, guys and the girls, hey, it's nothing, kind of straighten up a little bit for them, right? No? So you're looking like, no, that's not what we want. That's not what we want. But I understand what you want. And that's why we're going to be here to make it better for even your boyfriend, your ex-husband, your new husband, anybody that's coming along. We're going to try our best to get this right. We don't have a lot of time, nor do we, hey, if you with it, come. If you're not, stay with it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, cool.
Keep turning on TV and seeing people die. Younger, they shot a dude in the head yesterday. Well, that's not the first time I saw it. I'm looking like, okay, and I hate to be that way.
Mm-hmm. And we'll
that's what I'm becoming.
We'll check out, but I just want you to answer this one thing, because I've asked you 4 times about accountability, and you tell me about the system. Do we hold brothers accountable?
I mean, one thing about it, you know, if you with it, come on. If you're not, keep it moving.
Okay.
Keep it moving, man, because we want the brothers that want us.
Mm-hmm.
You dated before you married. Mm-hmm. You know, you didn't marry a girl that didn't want you. Mm-hmm. You married a girl that wanted you. So we only marrying brothers that want us. If you want to be a part of it, you want to bring your input, all your educational knowledge from your background and things that you've been watching on TV in terms of black people being disrespected, and everywhere you go, on your job. You talk about your work history. I knew they wasn't just loving Lamont like it, but maybe so.
No.
Maybe you was the exception.
No, I mean
everywhere you go.
People know my story.
In stores.
And I've always stepped up against racism and prejudice, and sued a major corporation in the process. So I know my story.
How much money you get?
That's
you don't talk about that.
Okay,
well, anyway, okay.
When you settle, you don't talk about that. I'm just telling you that's what I did. But anyway, this is Roots 101, the healing process with Neil Robinson and the Block. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having us.
Be blessed. See you next week on the healing process.
God bless you, and God bless America.